12,000-year-old underground labyrinth tunnels from Scotland to Turkey. I remember I once found a book in a book exhibit concerning the underground tunnels all around Attica in Athens, Greece. For the life of me, I don't know where I put that book. It was full of maps. And as I told you before, both of my parents were architects, and the architects knew about these underground tunnels underneath Athens, and they were supposedly, the ancients knew of them as well. They were ways of escaping people escaping their enemies in case of an attack. And we don't even know who built them. They're so old. Some of these tunnels go from all the way from Marathon, all across underneath Athens, all the way to Piraeus, to the other side of the ocean. And for some odd reason, ancient civilizations had a massive network of underground tunnels. So this one here, 12,000-year underground tunnel, stretching from Scotland all the way to Asia Minor and Turkey. Now we know Scotland, the Scots, were ancient Spartans. They were ancient Greeks. Hadrian's Wall, that was made between northern England and Britain and Scotland, was to keep the Scots away, so because they could, the ancient Normans were not able to conquer the Scots. They were so forceful. Now, these 12,000-year-old labyrinths, underground tunnels, is it possible for ancient civilizations to be interconnected, have been interconnected thousands of years ago? According to thousands of underground tunnels stretching from northern Scotland to the Mediterranean, the answer is a resounding yes. While the reason behind these sophisticated tunnels remains a mystery, many experts believe that this vast prehistoric network was built to protect against predators and other dangers 12,000 years ago. Some experts believe that it was these mysterious tunnels that were used as modern highways, allowing people to move and connect to distant places throughout Europe. Now, in the book Secrets of the Underground Door to an Ancient World, German title Tor zur Unterwelt, German archaeologist Dr. Heinrich Kuss reports that evidence of a huge underground tunnel has been found beneath hundreds of Neolithic settlements across the European continent. These tunnels, he says, are huge, and they're often referred to as ancient highways, hence their connection to distant places throughout Europe. According to Dr. Kusch, the fact that many of these tunnels still exist 12,000 years later suggests that they must have complex structures and enormous sizes. He says, there were thousands of them all over Europe. We have discovered, he says, hundreds of thousands of meters of underground tunnels in Germany. In Austria, we have hundreds of more tunnels found. These underground tunnels can be found all over Europe, and there are countless of them that we need to measure, he said. He's a German archaeologist. While some of the tunnels are relatively small, more than a meter wide, there are other tunnels that archaeologists and speleologists found to even have mysterious basements and storage areas as well. The fact that these tunnels have given us an emphasis on incredible ancient ingenuity, which is nothing but the history books, what the history books tell us today. According to EU Institute of Speleology, ancient mankind had the knowledge and the tools to create complex structures over tens of thousands of years. Evidence, for example, the pyramids of Bosnia and Europe, with their incredible underground tunnels, which continue for hundreds of miles on land, that the current metro agronomics are unable to drill successfully due to the extremely hard rocks of the area. Dr. Kusch, the German archaeologist, and his team report that, quote, there are thousands of these tunnels across Europe, from the north in Scotland up to the Mediterranean, end quote. And he goes on to say there are decorated with corners, with some places they are bigger there is a living room, storage rooms, rooms with unknown functions. Not all of them are connected, but together they are a really huge and inconceivable underground network. Now, we know about the Cappadocia underground cities in Turkey. That's another incredible example. The underground city of derinkuyu is another proof that highlights the lost technology and construction methods of our ancestors. The underground city of derinkuyu is perhaps one of the greatest achievements in underground construction, along with huge network of tunnels. The geological characteristics of the stone from derinkuyu is something that's very important because here it is very soft. It's soft stone. So the ancient builders of derinkuyu had to really be careful in building these basements that provide terrifying pillar power to support the floors above. If this has not been achieved, the entire city would have collapsed. But so far archaeologists found evidence of not having any form of subsidence in derinkuyu. Another ancient monuments, such as Göbekli Tepe, are even more vital evidence in this direction of the incredible abilities and knowledge of people who inhabited our planet over 10,000 years ago, and for many experts, they are historical paradox. According to Dr. Kush, chapels are often built in the entrances to underground tunnels because the church had feared pagan heritage and tunnels might represent, and like many other things, they wanted to make sure these tunnels were kept secret. So what is even more interesting is that in some of the tunnels they discovered writings which refer to the underground tunnels systems that were formed as gates to the underworld. This was from Pro News in Greece. I've translated this for you from Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. And here we have some examples of images from derinkuyu, the underground cities, and you can see that they're quite roomy. Of course, the engineers of the construction of these underground passageways, you can even see that these rolling stones blocking the entrances for even more protection that we usually used to see in front, blocking the entrances of tombs in ancient Israel. And these are steps as well, and these are still in very excellent condition tens of thousands of years later. And upcoming here is Cappadocia. As you can see, this is very soft sandstone, and some people are still living in these houses. These were in the area of where the Christians were first housing themselves in order to flee from persecution. So these are all ancient structures, as we can see. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.